Israel and Lebanon have agreed to implement a new ceasefire that is aimed at reducing hostilities and creating conditions for a broader political settlement, according to the joint statement, following US-mediated talks in Washington. Notably, the agreement marks the fourth round of discussions facilitated by the United States of America involving diplomats from both the countries, which do not have formal diplomatic relations. Notably, under the proposed arrangement, the ceasefire is conditional on a complete halt to the attacks by Hezbollah and the withdrawal of all its personnel from areas south of the Litani River in Lebanon. And in these regions, so-called pilot security zones would be established where the Lebanese armed forces would assume full and exclusive control with all the non-state armed groups excluded. However, detailed mechanisms for how these zones will be enforced have not yet been released, and the joint statement emphasized that the future relationship between Israel and Lebanon must be determined solely by their sovereign governments, rejecting any external influence from the states or non-state actors. This was widely interpreted as a reference to Iran, which is a key supporter of Hezbollah and has repeatedly linked the conflict in Lebanon to the broader regional negotiations with the United States of America. Hezbollah was not directly involved in the negotiations, and a senior official from the group had previously stated that it would not accept a partial ceasefire. And despite the announcement, cross-border violence has continued, with Hezbollah reportedly launching attacks against northern Israel and Israel strikes hitting multiple locations in southern Lebanon, including areas near hospitals and residential buildings. Lebanese authorities reported civilian casualties, including medical personnel, as a result of some of these strikes. The ceasefire agreement is also seen as having implications for wider diplomatic efforts involving Iran. Iranian officials and the outlets aligned with the government had previously indicated that Iran suspended indirect communications with mediators due to the ongoing Israel military operations in Lebanon. Iran has also argued that any regional ceasefire framework must include Lebanon and halt Israel strikes before broader negotiations with the United States can proceed. While the United States and Israel have maintained that the Lebanon conflict is separate from Iran-related talks, analysts suggest that the agreement could help reopen diplomatic channels between Tehran and mediators, depending on its implementation. US President Donald Trump said that efforts were underway to de-escalate tensions and separate the Lebanon conflict from negotiations involving Iran. He also claimed that he had intervened in order to prevent an Israel strike on Beirut and had spoken with Israel leadership and other parties to encourage a halt in fighting. However, tensions have persisted, and reports indicate that both the sides continue to justify ongoing military actions as responses to violations by the other. And the broader regional situation remains highly volatile, with additional incidents reported outside Lebanon, including strikes and retaliatory actions affecting other areas in the region, contributing to rising oil prices and growing international concern. Analysts note that Israel appears intent on weakening Hezbollah military before any long-term political settlement, while diplomatic efforts led by the United States continue to face obstacles linked to the interconnected nature of the conflicts involving Lebanon and Iran. And as part of the agreement, further talks are scheduled to continue in the coming weeks with the aim of developing a more comprehensive political and security framework. However, the ceasefire remains fragile, dependent on strict compliance by all the parties and subject to the broader regional tensions that continue to shape the conflict. That's all for now. Stay tuned to the Savera for more updates. Do like, comment and subscribe to the channel.